Excuse me, hi.
Hi.
Do you speak English?
Yes.
Okay, I saw you there and I wanted to say hello to you.
Oh,
you make
thank
me walk
you.
so fast to catch up to you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
did
okay.
you call me or something?
No, I was just walking with my friend and I see you and
okay.
I wanted to say hi, but you walk very fast.
Oh, because I'm going to the park, so I don't want it to be dark, so that's why I walk fast.
That part?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are you meeting your friends there?
No, I'm alone.
Oh, how
Just
come?
walking.
You're going to exercise?
Yes.
Yeah, I see you have the outfit for the gym.
Yeah. What are you doing here?
I actually live here.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you do here?
I am working online. I have my business, so yeah.
Okay.
Work
That's
from
good.
home.
So you can live anywhere.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
What do you think?
The US?
Thank you, but no. Like the US, but better.
Where? Europe?
Like the US, but
in
more
Europe?
romantic.
In Europe?
Yeah.
Germany?
No, I come from France actually.
France? Oh, because your English is good.
My friend is waiting, but I'm going to go back. But I have a question for you. Do you like coffee?
Coffee, sure.
Maybe I can invite you someday so we can
Yes,
talk
for sure,
more.
for
Do
sure.
you have Instagram?
Yeah, for sure.
I can
I can
add
give
you.
it to you.
When do you usually have free time?
Maybe after my work, or sometime I also, right now I work from home. So I think I will have time. I will have more time.
What do you do?
I'm a lawyer.
Really? That's so funny. When I was in university, I studied to become a lawyer too.
Really?
Yeah.
You
I
study
know I don't
law?
look like it, but
I don't
yeah.
look like it either.
I'm gonna go back to my friend.
For sure, for
Have
sure.
a good one. Enjoy
Have a
your
good day.
workouts.
Thank you. Have a nice evening.
You too. Hey guys, Max here. So here's a video of myself approaching a girl who was on her way to the gym. And I know this is crazy, a guy who's talking to girls in public. But in this video I wanted to share with you why you should not be scared to talk to girls in public and why it's actually a very fucking normal thing. Talking to women that you find attractive is actually not a big deal, and in this video we're going to talk about how to be less anxious when you see a woman you like and you would like to go talk to her. So watch until the end of the video because I'm going to give you tips on how to be less anxious and actually feel more comfortable when you're going up to women. So here's the thing, I used to be extremely shy up to the point that even when I was 20, 21, I was in university, if a girl would come and talk to me, I would look at her, say okay, and then try to find a way to exit the conversation because I was so anxious around women, and generally speaking I was anxious around people. So now you see me talking to girls and you're like, oh okay, this guy is an extrovert and he does that, it seems so easy. But it was not easy at first, it's something I had to learn, and so I really know how it's like to be super anxious and to see guys talk to girls and to feel like there is no way I'm ever going to be able to do this, to go up to girls like that, to be confident and to strike up a conversation out of thin air. On the other hand, what's funny is that if you are a sociable guy, you see me talking to women and you feel, okay, that's just a dude making conversation with another person. There is nothing special about it. What's important here is really the perspective that you have when it comes to striking up a conversation with a stranger. If you're used to talk to people, it's normal to you. If you are more anxious when you talk to strangers, you're gonna feel, oh my god, how in the world does he do that? It's a little bit similar to how you see those guys climbing without a rope or without any kind of safety, and when you're watching this, your hands are sweaty and you're just afraid that the guy will fall, because if you were in this situation, you yourself would feel super anxious. But to the guy who was actually climbing, this is just an average Wednesday. To those people, it looks super easy. You watching it, it's totally different. So again, here, it's a question of perspective. I know, for instance, I was raised in a family where they didn't really have any conception of nutrition and what you should eat to be healthy. And I remember when I was in high school, I would see other guys with ripped abs and I would think, how in the world are you able to have a nice body? Like, to me, it just didn't make any sense how other people were able to get what they are getting, considering I knew what I knew at the time and considering my personal experience at the time. Like how, for example, I remember in PE classes that I saw some other guys were able to do headstand push-ups while I still was having trouble doing a normal roll. In my mind, they were just cut from a different cloth and those people were different from me. I was different from them. They were able to do something that I would most likely never be able to do. To be honest with you, I still can't do a headstand. But the point here is that when you practice something for your whole life, it just becomes normal. And when you don't practice something, watching someone do it with ease is very hard to comprehend. Again, here it's about your perspective. The thing is that everyone was anxious and hesitant at first. Everyone had to start at some point. Some people started 5 years ago and now they are good. Some people started 15 years ago and now they are good. Some people were raised in an environment and within a context that helped them easily become good, but that's not the case for everyone. And so you gotta understand that we all come from a certain point and we all have a different journey. Some people learn what you want to do earlier than you in life, but it doesn't mean that you will never be able to learn the same thing. The only difference between you right now being anxious about the fact you're approaching women and a guy who's confident approaching women is that this guy has been doing it for longer than you. This guy did it more than you. The only difference between you right now and this guy is the amount of time he spent doing that thing. So it's not about you being too ugly or being too awkward or being too weird or being too short or being too bold or any kind of excuse in the book. But it's more about this guy going through his anxiety earlier than you. Because that guy was good at doing something, at some point in the past, he was in the same spot as you. He was anxious about doing this thing for the first time or the first few times. Or even he was anxious about doing this thing because he was not good yet. But this guy pushed himself through. This guy went through the trouble and the anxiety and the doubts and the fears and the difficulties of actually doing the thing that he wanted to do to get good at it. Remember that the big guys you see in the gym, at some point in the past, they were small guys, and this goes for everything. Don't be so tough on yourself, don't be so hard on yourself. It's okay if right now you're a little bit anxious, because we all go through this phase of anxiety. Next, I want to talk about how you should act when you see a girl that you like and you feel nervous about going up to her. Because let's be honest, this is the case for 95% of every man in the world. The thing is, you don't see it in the video, but I'm actually very nervous when I'm going up to this girl because she's pretty, because I want to get with her, because I want her to like me, because I want to make a good impression. And so I'm trying to say the right things to get to the outcome that I want. And yes, I'm always saying that you should focus on the process and not focus on the outcome. But there is always this part of yourself who wants the outcome. I'm not telling you to forget about the outcome. If you don't want to get with this girl, why would you even go up to this girl? Like I heard, for example, some guys try to jerk off before they go out to meet women so that they don't feel like they want those girls. But then I'm like, why do you go up to girls if you don't want to get with them anyways? This just makes no sense. Anyways, of course I'm going to be nervous because I want it to work, and even if it's not a big deal if it doesn't work and it's not going to change my life, I'm still engaged in the thing because I want some kind of result. And it's because I'm engaged in the thing that I will feel a little bit nervous. If I didn't want it, I wouldn't feel anything. But here is the thing, I want it, so I will feel at least a little bit nervous. She doesn't know it because she can't see it, because I've done that so many times that I've learned to manage my anxiety. I've learned to put my anxiety aside so that I can do what I have to do to convey the right emotions, to show her that I am interesting, to make her at ease, and to lead this interaction towards a date in the future. But this doesn't mean that the anxiety is not there. It's just that I learned through practice to manage this anxiety. And in the end, when I approach women, even if I'm still a little bit anxious, I learn how to keep my composure so they don't see that I am anxious. So this anxiety is not a problem that is going to come and ruin the interaction. So I know it's hard to relate, especially when you watch videos on YouTube of guys who go up to women and they seem super confident, they seem super comfortable. But there are two things. First, when you put a video on YouTube, you're not going to put out the video in which you are not really confident and a little bit anxious. When you put a video on YouTube, you're going to put a video that looks nice, a video that makes you look confident, so that you're going to inspire the people who are watching the video. And then those guys who approach women on video, even if you don't see them physically showing signs of being anxious, they are still a little bit anxious inside. At the very least, they learn how to manage this anxiety so it doesn't show when they are talking to women. I know that when guys give advice on how to get women, they sound super cool, they sound super confident, and they sound basically like they are swimming in pussy. No, it doesn't work like that. When you're a guy, if you like the girl you're talking to, you cannot not feel anxious a little bit. You cannot feel nothing. If you felt nothing, it means that you are not attracted to her. Personally, I really like to reframe this anxiety that I can feel when I meet a girl I'm attracted to into some kind of excitement. And I know that when I don't feel this, I don't feel any kind of anxiety or excitement when I talk to a woman, I know that I am not attracted to her. See, the simple fact you feel anxiety when you talk to a woman is your brain telling you that this matters. It's your brain telling you that you care. It's your brain telling you that you want it. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. Someone who tells you they are never nervous when they are talking to women is lying to you. Like, your brain is wired to feel something when you are talking to a woman you find attractive. So you can't stop it, but you can manage it. So here are a few tips to manage your approach anxiety. First, you have to accept the fact that you're nervous and anxious. You have to accept the fact that when you're gonna go up to her, you don't know what's going to happen. You have a rough idea of what's going to happen, but you never know 100%. And you have to be okay with this part of uncertainty. You have to be okay with this moment when you will have to improvise. The more you do it, the more comfortable you will feel with improvising, and the less this anxiety is going to be an obstacle between you and her. And eventually you will do it so much that just talking for the sake of talking is going to be like second nature to you. After a few months or a few years of taking for good habit to just start conversations with people, you become a real talking machine. Like in French, we have an expression for this. It's you are a speech windmill. I'm not really sure about the translation there, but it's this idea that when you start talking, you don't judge what you're saying and you just keep talking and keep talking and keep talking. Because I've noticed that a lot of anxiety comes from the fact guys don't want to look stupid on one hand, but also don't want to make the girl uncomfortable. Here's the thing. You are just making small talk, okay? You're not giving a speech for a Nobel Prize. Your conversation cannot be that bad. Like, what's the worst that can happen? You go up to her, you give her a compliment like, hey, I like your tattoo, so I wanted to say hi. She tells you she's in a rush, she tells you she has a boyfriend, and you're like, okay. And then you keep going about your day. See, that's the second thing. You are most likely going to be rejected in most of your interactions, and I know as a dating coach, that's not really a good thing to say, because I should instead tell you that all of your interactions are going to go well if you follow my advice, but this is the real world, and when you talk to women, you can only control as many things as you can control. You can control how you present yourself, you can control what you say. But if she's in a rush, if she has a boyfriend, if you startle her when you say hi to her because she was actually on her earphones, you can't really control that. So I've talked about that in a lot of previous videos, but rejection is really something that you have to accept as a normal part of life. You can't go and date women if you try to avoid rejection simply because there are so many things outside of your control and you're bound to lose sometimes. So my point is, if you are waiting for that one time when you're sure rejection won't happen to allow yourself to go through this anxiety you might feel, this is never going to happen. You only have one choice. Feel the anxiety and go through it. But then again, what's the worst that can happen? She doesn't want to talk with you. Big fucking deal. Like, there's no consequence to being rejected in public. It's not like you're trying to hit on a girl at the gym or a girl in your social circle or a girl at work. There are consequences because it's people that you will happen to see again and again. When you see a girl in public, she is walking this way, you are walking this way, you are never ever going to see her again. What do you have to lose by going up to her to give her a compliment and trying to get her number? And see, in the end, this anxiety is just this stupid thing that you have in your mind that's based on nothing, because there are no consequences if you get rejected, and there is no real reason for you to feel that anxious. Like, feeling anxious when you go talk to women is a normal thing because that's how your brain is wired, but when you think about it, it makes no sense. But since this is how your brain is wired, it's always going to be there. So the best thing you can do is to learn how to manage it. And the best way to do this is to take a lot of action. The more you go through this anxiety, the more you learn to manage this anxiety and, in a way, put it somewhere in your brain where it's not an obstacle to you talking to women anymore. So now I want to give you a few exercises that you can do if you have crippling social anxiety. I realized this is something that's very important after coaching a guy who, by all means, had everything going on for him. He was tall, he was blonde, he was ripped, he had blue eyes, and yet he was not able to look at women in the eyes because he had crippling social anxiety. Why is that? Well, because he never did the initial beginner work when it comes to going through this anxiety And so he never learned to manage this social anxiety. Most guys will get to learn basic social dynamics and basic social cues between middle school to, let's say, college. And after, if you're an average guy, you're set. At the very least, you're able to make normal conversation with most people you meet. But some guys never had the chance to go through this process of learning social dynamics and learning how to go through this social anxiety. I know for one, I never learned and I had to learn by myself. But point is, this is something that you can learn. You just have to push yourself to go through the motions. This is something that some people learn naturally and some other people don't. But then you can learn it provided you do the right thing. So here are the exercises by order of difficulty. For the first one, you want to go and approach men on the street to ask them for directions. There is nothing easier than that. You go on the street, you're walking, the first dude you see, hey, do you know where the Starbucks is? And you just see what they reply, and you say thank you, and you move on about your day. Very easy. Again, if you're someone who's confident talking to people, you're listening to this exercise and you're going to feel this is normal, this is so easy. If you're someone who's having difficulties talking to people, maybe that's going to sound scary. If that sounds scary to you, understand that it's just about your perspective, and this is the first thing that you have to do if you want to progress. The second exercise is doing the same, but with women you find attractive. We want to show your brain that it's okay to go up to attractive strangers in public and it's okay to talk to them. It's okay to use your mouth to transmit something towards them. And it's not like you're engaging them in a deep conversation or you're asking much from them. You just go up to a girl you find attractive. Hi, excuse me, do you know where the McDonald's is? And you get their answer, you say thank you, and you wish them a good day. Once you're comfortable with this, I have a third exercise for you. It's about going up to women you find attractive and to give them a compliment. Hey, I come talk to you because I love your hat, it's really cute. And that's it. She's going to say thank you, you're going to wish her a good day, and you will just keep walking. Do this until you feel comfortable doing it, and then you can move on to other exercises. If you're not used to those exercises, at first it will feel super scary. But honestly, as soon as you start doing it, you will realize that it's actually super easy, there are no consequences, and people enjoy it. Like if you go up to a girl to give her a compliment, there is no way she's going to dislike it. Here the goal is really to desensitize yourself from talking to strangers, from putting what's in your brain into your mouth and throwing it out there. If you live in a reality where it's not normal to talk with strangers, this will feel super weird and cringe to you. I get it. I used to be like that. If that's you, I promise you the only thing between you and being less anxious, feeling more confident when you talk to women you like, is just doing it more. Like, I know very well how it feels to not be sociable and just thinking about the fact you're going to go and talk to strangers and you're like, oh my god, I don't want to talk to anyone and now I have to go and talk to girls. I don't know what I'm gonna say. It's gonna be terrible. They're gonna think I'm awkward and stupid. This is just your brain fucking up with you. This is your brain telling you bullshit. This is your brain being weird and cringe. Because as soon as you start doing it, as soon as you allow yourself to do it, you are going to actually enjoy it. All those anxious thoughts that you can't do it, it's just your brain playing tricks on you. Anyways, that's all for today. Consider subscribing, leave a like, tell me what you thought about it in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time.